We're coming up on a whole year of, well, actually, probably about 10 months of podcasts of the Limbwalker podcast. It features the life experiences and the motivations that Will Glaros can offer to us. Will's a very successful insurance guy and sold out to a big company and now has a little bit of time to talk about some of the methods and some of the philosophies that he used to get some things done. And in a weird way, a lot of these same disciplines and same ideas, same motivations apply to a very changing world. You have to have something that anchors you, and Will is able to provide those anchors at times. Will, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Jimmy. Almost Christmas time.
Yes, almost Christmas
Or am I
time.
supposed to act
You-
like this is the
You're
26th?
just supposed to act like there's nothing going on because most people listen at other times, but that's okay. Yeah, we are doing this, I think, 2 days before Christmas. So we are, it's a little different mentality around here. And
And exciting, you're moving.
exciting. We are moving, and I'm very excited to get back. As while Matt out here is actually moving while we do this podcast, he's like, this is kind of exciting because I always wanted to give life to an old building or old brand,
Yeah.
old anything traditional. We're recording this on a 102-year-old radio station. We're actually live on the radio, and it never quite set with me putting a 102-year-old radio station into this magnificent modern setting where we are. I want to take my radio station and put it back where it needs to be, and in a traditional the radio studio is all cinder block all the way around, and it's all soundproofed, and it is traditional audio based. And the sports network that we have here is actually trying to go its own direction. It likes these kind of studios, but it doesn't need them. So they're going to they're ultimately going to land at an ultra modern situation to meet with their technology. But us just sitting here talking,
Yeah.
I want the feel of the tradition that's involved. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think, certain things don't change even as we change. I mean, there's a core in us. I mean, you going back to the station where you basically started your career, the location that is. And for me, it's kind of exciting because I used to do a show on that at that location behind Smith Chevrolet and that. What color brick is that? Yellow or
It's
whatever?
kind of like a mauve brick almost. It's like almost the color of your
My
very
sh-
ugly
Oh
quarter
God!
zip.
Here we go, Mr. Fashion.
I wear the same thing
Hey,
every day, so it doesn't have.
hey. By the way, speaking of fashion, I heard you talking when you were on with Matt about your boots, and honestly, you need a pair of 1,000-mile boots.
Is that what they're called?
That's what they're called, and they are the greatest pair of boots. I'm hoping to get mine back on again now that my foot is healed.
1,000-mile boots.
1,000-mile
I am a
boots.
huge believer in Thursday boots, and I wear them almost exclusively. And
On Thursdays?
that's the name of it. I don't know why. I guess that way you could kind of wear it casually and business, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, these are some of my newer ones. I got some old ones, but you're right. I will look at 1,000-mile boots. Now,
1,000-mile boots.
the reason that's important in that Will Glaros has, for many of these episodes, come in with this big hole cut out of his tennis shoes where his bunion is, and it's like 2.5 feet from my face, and it never really set
Yeah,
that
but he
well.
can't see it anymore.
Now it's kind of healed. It has to feel good.
It feels real good. In fact, my 1,000-mile boots, I put them on for the first time late last week, and I thought, "Ooh, these feel good." And my wife said, "Are you going to wear them?" And I said, "Not yet. I want to make sure that foot is completely healed so I don't have to worry about it. But they're like those. Those are very attractive boots,
Yeah, and
especially I'll bet when they're polished.
that's not what people do. You're supposed to like when you are traveling in the old days or even in the new days, you have a trunk. I have this trunk that I used to go back and forth from California, and it was before you could. I mean, everybody checked their bags back in the day, and now it's all carry-ons. But it was a leather-bound trunk, and it had all the
Oh
creases in
yeah,
it, and it's got the stickers of where I'd been, and that's what these boots are. You're not supposed to polish them. I'm sorry.
the
That's how.
1,000 mile boots. Well, I'll tell you what. It's just me. I polish those things all the time. They're kind of a mauve in color, kind of like this, except darker, much darker. And I like the look of those.
Well, to get to that, is that I do have a pair of darker brown ones that I polish like you. I'll get my wife's like, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm just going to polish my shoes." And then,
And
but
she's
these,
just not used to that.
yeah, she's not used to that. But these I will not polish because I like the crinkled look of the leather, and that has nothing to do with if one never ventures out on the limb, one will never taste the
No,
fruit.
we're nowhere near the limit at this point.
Yeah. So this Will's podcast is basically based around that simple concept. If one never ventures out on the limb, one will never taste the fruit. And there's a picture behind us of Will standing on a limb of a tree. And if you're grasping the branch and you don't want to take any, if you're the trunk, you're never going to walk out on the limb. You're not taking any risks. Well, you're never going to taste that fruit that's out on that branch. And it has I've applied many of the concepts to my life, and I'll tell you the biggest one. In that you're a big proponent of like Zig Ziglar, and you don't even know it, but there's a number of newer motivational speakers that do the same thing, and that you basically put out a goal way out there, and that your neurotransmitters will just pull you to the goal. And that's kind of how I conceive of it. I'm like, I don't want to know about. I'm a slacker. I went to Berkeley and I was like a slacker dude.
You say that. You are so far from a slacker.
But anyways, But now I realize that breaking it down, I want to throw the goal out there, and then I want to pull myself to it. And even if it's not an active pull, maybe I'll just passively get pulled to it because I keep reminding myself of that goal. And that is real to me. I've got a specific goal where at the end of 2025, what I want to do in 2026, and it's different from all the other years that we have in building. And I'm like, I want to turn and I want to move towards a specific goal. You gave me the tools to do that.
Well, thank you. That's been the purpose. And let me just restate, this is not like you're talking to someone who made up these terms and these systems. I've learned them from other people. If you were to see my house, you would see books, you would see statements on little plaques, you would see all types of things that are built to encourage you to go out and go on that limb, to go further, to try. The more you see that, we've talked about this, having that presentation out there, that concept you see, if you see it, the key is you've got to write it down. And if I were going to make one recommendation to you about this wonderful operation you've put together, I would have the biggest picture of something including Heartland Media, or however you've got to pronounce. I would have it in a picture so that everybody that walked into that room, including you, saw it. Because the more you look at that and see it, the more likely it is to happen to the degree you want it to happen.
So you're talking basically about putting some graphic together with the logo and the name of it, and maybe us at a game, announcing a game or something like
Yep.
that. That sounds like a great gift from you to the Heartland Sports Network, by the
Tell
way.
me how I can do it.
I know you would. In a heartbeat, you would do it.
Yes, I
As a
would.
matter of fact, we're doing this podcast, and the guy right in front of us is taking apart a desk.
It's almost like I'm being. Have you ever seen the show Branded? This is maybe about 10 years before your age, but it was Chuck Connors. He was the actor, and he was out on this military post in the West in the old days. And he did something, I don't remember what it was, but they took him out in front of the fort, and they stripped off all of the lappelettes or whatever they call them off his shoulders. They pulled all of his honors off his chest, and he was left to go out on his own. The difference is you're defrocking this location to go back to what I would call home.
Yes, we are going home. Wow, that's a great.
I should have been in
Adriana, I
marketing.
know you don't normally listen to us, but this is what we're. Adriana runs the network and runs 100 different things, but she is our podcast producer, and that is it. We're going home. We're going home. Now, you've never been there because when we moved here, she was 9 years old. So, 10, I think we moved here 10 years ago, right? 10 or 11. 11 years ago we moved.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I thought you guys were in this building for like 5 years.
No,
For
no.
10
I've done
years?
that.
We were on the other side over there. So in
Oh.
the history here is that they didn't have anybody to move in here. And so I wrote a check, of course, and we moved in there, and then they built everything around us. And now it has kind of taken a new pivot of going towards cybersecurity and AI in this building. And
Oh,
So I think
sure.
I remember. I know you're not gonna remember this, but you guys used to donate to St. Stanislaus, and we would give gift baskets, like
Yes.
fruit baskets. I was one of the students that came my 7th or 8th grade year to give you a fruit basket. And there's a Facebook, when you did Facebook all the time, there's a Facebook post somewhere. And it's like little me giving you this fruit basket. I know you're not going to remember that.
I remember it. I don't remember.
It was me who gave
Was
it
it
to
you and somebody else? or
Yeah,
just you?
me and a girl. Her name was Jackie Woolley. We came and we gave the fruit basket. And that was before I even knew anything about WJLB.
That was
at that time.
Jackie Ruiz, right?
Woolley, that's her last name.
No, Jackie Ruiz was the principal.
Yes, she was the principal at the time.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty good stuff. Look at what your podcast brings up.
That's
Hey,
really funny because at that point in time, I was like, yeah,
but you
healthcare.
know, I think
I
we've
want to
been-
see that picture.
That-
I want to see her as a seventh grader.
Seventh grader that had no idea anything. Here, I was just like, okay, I have to go deliver this for a project.
It was probably on that day your mind saw yourself in media.
Nope, I was actually in healthcare until I got to college, and then I was just like, nah, too much math. And then I saw this, I was like, okay, I like this.
You know, my
And you're doing a good job
Oh,
at it.
thank you.
my story is similar to that. And
Did you deliver a fruit
and now
basket too?
it fits in Will's view of the subconscious working on you. And that's what I get out of that is like, I'm going to set that goal out there and my subconscious is going to pull me there. Okay. And for a long time, I haven't known because we were building this sports network. It's all been chaos.
Yeah.
Now I'm able to define where I want to be and I'm able to get that and work on the subconscious. But going back to that, it worked on you, Adriana. You came here and you walked in and
Something in the universe, yeah.
and you saw it. You're like, wow, this looks kind of cool. And you were drawn here and you didn't even know it. Well, the same thing happened with me. I was a Weebelo. And I went on a Weebelo, like we went
What's
on a
a
little.
Weebelo?
Boy Scouts.
It's there's like
Or
a,
was that a different organ?
no, it's I think it's Cub Scouts, Weebelo, Boy Scout. There's
Then
other
it's Eagle Scout, right?
yeah. There's other who would call me during my podcast. But anyways,
One of the Weebelos.
yeah. So I'm on a Weebelo thing, and I get there for the monthly Weebelo meeting, and they go, "Oh, hey, we're gonna go to WJOB," and so we all get in the cars, and I'm like, "I don't know where we're going." And
Boy,
we get,
look at the commonality
yeah,
there.
we get there, and then we're standing outside of the where we're gonna move back to, and I'm looking through the window, and there's this guy talking, and then we could hear it on the radio. It seemed really weird, and then the salesperson comes back in and says, "Oh, one of you guys is going to go on the air," and everybody stepped back, and I was just so in awe looking at it, and they go, "Okay, you're on next."
Imprint.
And I went on the air, and I was the worst 10-year-old guest they ever had. I went on the air, and the guy's like, "Well, what's your name?" "My name's Jimmy J-Lo." And I was all nervous, and but I still remember this moment, sitting in that chair where we're going to move back to, and someone's going to be sitting in the guest
You
chair.
ought to have a picture taken in that chair again, sitting there, and then compare it if you have the old picture.
She's looking for that Facebook thing right
No,
now.
I know where it's at. My mom reposts it almost every year since I started working here, and I'm like, why? No.
But now
So when it
means
comes up
something.
again on her Facebook, I'll show it to you. I don't know where it's at. She posts a million things.
So Adriana is here, and she is at the forefront of technology. She, I said, hey, we built this sports network. It's going okay. I want to go back, and I want to just go to radio. So, I don't know if we can just do that, Jim. We got to do a podcast network, and we got to be on YouTube. And I'm like, oh, God. Well, she's been right, and I've been wrong, and I've said that a couple of times. But Adriana has learned one thing that has been a tradition here at WJOB for 102 years, and that is to apply the latest technologies to the local market. That's what we do. We take students out of the local colleges and we apply the latest technologies. Right now we're applying AI, and it is cutting down on the number of people we need in this business. We had a really capable person the other day. Remember, were you here when the Region Angels woman came in? And she's like, I have this great intern. I said, listen, that's not the business model anymore. And they said, oh, my God, I tried to offer her here and there, and you guys aren't taking interns either. I go, no, it's not, the technology rules this. They have to come with, AI experience, or there's just never any value that they add. But so the technology is growing so fast and so quickly. This is what you wanted to talk about. Adriana's accepted it and has applied it and has ballooned it way over I would have ever thought on the audio and the news side. Certainly the guys on the sports side have done the exact same thing. We're the most, I would have to say, the most technologically advanced of any small regional sports network. Now, you have views on how that's going to affect workers of the future.
It's not so much views on how it's going to affect. It's
to what?
Minutes.
Oh, okay, good.
That's all that's left.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got more than that.
Okay. It's not so much how the effect's going to happen. It's going to happen. It is how people react to it. And there will be some people that their industries will be completely changed, gone forever, because all that work is being done by AI, which opens up, hopefully, other opportunities for those people. Readaptation. The key is people, it isn't here yet. It's going to be fast. People need to take the time to learn the skills that enable them to adapt to that mentally, physically, personally, maybe even spiritually. They need to learn how to adapt to that.
There's a niche that applies to young people like Adriana and her peers. And we had one woman that came in, and I said, well, we're going to use AI here, AI that, and she was reluctant about it. And I said, well, listen, why? And she said, listen, it's going to cost people not getting jobs and stuff like that. I said, listen, all you got to do is think about what you're doing, and if you're going to learn how to run a system based on the latest technologies, you're much more employable, and you're making your who you work for more value, and that's going to put you in a better job to have a career here. And I hate to put it that way, but bringing these technologies in, we used to do a radio game with 4 people, right? Now we do a TV game with two people, and it's all technology.
Yeah.
But it wears on people's mind. They have fear, and adapting is hard. And your message right there of adapting is huge.
Well, the thing is, the one thing that never doesn't, the one thing that changes forever is change. No matter where you are today, things are going to happen. I brought something for illustration purposes.
Okay.
Here, for those of you that can see, this device is called a kamal. I'm not going to go through the whole demonstration on how to use it, but the ancient mariners in Arabian times would use this tool, and at night on the North Star, sighted on the North Star, tie little knots in the string that hangs from it, and that was the guiding post that when they got in a measurement from the North Star to one of these, they knew exactly where they were in the world longitudinally. Okay? This is what they used. Then, man got really smart and they've developed tools like this. And their mariner, their navigator, would use this, a sextant, to line up the stars and know exactly where they were. So we went from string to stars to get to the same place.
Now it's GPS.
Now, it's this crazy little phone. You just flip it on. You find the little site for wherever you want to go. You plug it into your phone. And now you've got three tools ranging over 1,000 years that all do the same thing, but change the industries they were in dramatically. Change is never going to change. It's always going to be happening. So the key is for people to be prepared mentally to see the change. I mean, let me tell you what happens to me. When I see change happen in my business, I just sit down and I go, oh my God, woe is me. That's my first reaction. And then within a day or two, I'm already devising thoughts in my mind of how I can adapt what I do to the changes that are going on.
So, adapting mentally to the change that is happening and how that fits in with the Limbwalker's creed, which is if one never ventures out on the limb, one will never taste the fruit. That is exactly where we're going to pick it up on the next one. This is one of our closing ones of 2025. You're listening way down the line in 2026. But please go to the Limbwalker podcast. It's one word, Limbwalker, Limbwalker. And Will has a lot of this. I'm a little surprised he wants to go at adapting mentally to change. But maybe once I think about it, it makes a lot of sense and should not be that surprising. So we'll catch that one in the next episode. Thanks a lot, Will.
Happy New Year, Jimmy, and thanks and to Adriana for putting this program together. Hopefully it will be able to help someone out there. And there's nothing new, just being recreated by a new person.
Until next time, we'll see you later.